Welcome to The Explainer. The AI world just got completely turned on its head. Seemingly out of nowhere, OpenAI just dropped a set of incredibly powerful open-weight reasoning models they're calling GPT-OSS. Now, for a company that's been famous for keeping its best stuff locked up for years, this is a huge deal. So let's just start with this question. What if the engine behind a truly top-tier AI was suddenly available for any developer, any researcher, any hobbyist to just grab, modify, and build with for free? Well, that's exactly the new reality we're going to unpack today, and believe me, the implications are massive. To really get why this is such a big deal, you have to remember some history. The last time OpenAI did anything like this was with GPT-2, way back in 2019. That was 5 whole years ago. And in that gap, the entire AI landscape became dominated by these closed-off proprietary systems. So this release, it's not just another model drop. It feels like the end of an era and a return to the open-source world we've been waiting for. Okay, so what exactly did they give us? Let's dive in and break down what these new models are all about. We're getting 2 different models here, each for a different kind of job. First, there's GPT-OSS 12B. Think of this as the powerhouse, built to run on a single professional-grade GPU. But the real surprise is the GPT-OSS 20B model. This one is the workhorse, and it's designed to run on a totally standard, modern laptop with about 16 gigs of memory. Yeah, that means you can have a private, offline, super high-performance model running right on your own machine. And get this, both of them support a massive 128,000 token context window. That's basically the model's short-term memory, and it's big enough to handle huge documents or really long conversations without getting lost. So how are they so powerful but also so efficient? Well, the secret sauce is something called a mixture of experts architecture, or MOE. Instead of having one single giant brain trying to solve every problem, think of it more like a team of specialist doctors. When you ask a question, the system is smart enough to route it to the specific expert network that's best suited for that task. That's how they stay so lean. Even though the models are technically large, they only fire up a tiny fraction of their total parameters for any single query, just 5.1 billion for the 12B and an even smaller 3.6 billion for the 20B. And here's what might be the biggest news of all, especially for developers: the license. They released all of this under Apache 2.0, which is just incredibly permissive. It means anyone can use these models freely, even for commercial products, without all the strings that are usually attached to other open models. It's a massive green light for innovation. But it's not just about being open and free. These models have a killer feature baked right in: the ability to actually think and use tools before it even tries to give you an answer. So how does that actually work? Okay, imagine you ask it something like, hey, what are the specs of that new phone that just got leaked? Instead of just making something up, the model first goes into this internal thinking mode. It recognizes, hey, I need fresh info from the web for this. So then in step 3, it automatically goes out and does a web search. It can even try a second or third search if the first one doesn't work. And only after it's gathered all that external data does it move to step 4, where it uses what it found to give you a really complete fact-checked answer. And for anyone building apps, this is a total game changer. As one developer pointed out, this built-in thinking means you don't have to go and build some complicated agent architecture from scratch just to make it work. The model just figures out what tools it needs, all on its own. It makes building powerful agentic AI so much simpler. Okay, so it's open, it's smart, but how good is it really? Can it actually compete with the big guys? And maybe most important, what's it going to cost to use? Well, the performance is frankly stunning for open models. Let's look at MMLU, which is a major benchmark for language understanding. The 12B model scores an incredible 90%. That puts it right up there with the top-tier closed-source models. And on some other benchmarks, they actually outperform established competitors like O3 Mini. And here's the crazy part. They're getting these top-tier results while being way smaller than their competitors. Now, we don't know the exact size of models like Grok 2 or Gemini 2.5, but they're thought to have hundreds of billions of parameters. GPT-OSS is delivering similar, sometimes better, performance in a package that's so much smaller and more efficient. It is seriously punching above its weight. And that efficiency, it translates directly into cost. Because these models are open, providers are already competing to host them, and that's just crushing the prices. You can get access to the really powerful 12B model for as little as 10 cents. 10 cents per 1 million input tokens. That is an unbelievably low price for this level of performance. And it gets even better. That smaller, laptop-friendly 20B model, you can already find that for as low as 5 cents per million tokens. 5 cents. We're talking about complex analysis that used to cost dollars, now costing just pennies. This isn't just a price drop, it's a total market disruption that makes this level of AI accessible to pretty much everyone. So the best part is, all of this is available right now. Let's look at exactly how you can get your hands on these models and start playing around. You've got a ton of options. If you want total control, you can just download the models straight from Hugging Face. If you want to try it out instantly on some crazy fast hardware, you can use a cloud provider like Grok. If you're building an app and need to juggle different models, a service like OpenRouter can handle all the billing for you. But for most people, the absolute easiest way to start is with a tool called Llama. And to see just how easy we're talking about, look no further than this. Once you have Llama installed on your computer, you just pop open your terminal and type one simple command: Llama run GPT-OSS. That's it. The 20 billion parameter model will download and run right there on your laptop. It really, truly does not get any easier than that. So that brings us right back to where we started. We now have professional-level AI models with advanced reasoning that are incredibly cheap or even free to run. And they're totally open for anyone to use. The only question left is the most exciting one of all. What happens now? What are you going to build with this?